Nisam baš nije sjajan.
Imamo ti je isto.
Ali ja njega začekam, nema. Danas ovaj prvi dio našega, mi ćemo imati zapravo 3 sessiona.
Okay, we are going, je li ovo uključeno?
Yeah.
We are going,
Šta nije?
we are going to have few meetings with Ivan, and Ivan is going to explain to us all little details about the apparitions.
Prvi ovaj današnji dio,
This is the first part,
malo ću vam napisati zapravo prva 2 dana ukazanja.
and today I'm going to explain to you what it looked like at the beginning, at the first 2 days of the apparitions.
Danas kad ićemo, u pravom smislu riječi ću vam reći kako je to počelo, kako su ta prva 2 dana bila.
So I'm going to go step by step these first 2 days.
81. godine,
In 1981,
ja sam tada bio dijete,
I was child.
imao sam 16 godina,
I was teenager, 16 years old.
živio sam ovdje,
I lived in this house across the street
s mojim roditeljima.
with my parents.
Do svoje 16. godine
Until that age of 16,
bio sam jako povučen,
I was very shy,
zatvoren sam za sebe,
very close.
nisam puno komunicirao sa
I
svijetom.
really didn't like to communicate very much with the outside world.
U ono vrijeme, 81. godine, do 81. godine, bilo je vrijeme teško.
In that time, and actually the whole time till 1981 was very difficult time.
Vrijeme komunizma,
It was the time of the communist regime,
vrijeme bez slobode,
the time without freedom,
slobode govora,
the freedom of speech
slobode ispovedanja vjere.
or expression of your own faith.
Svi ovdje ljudi koji su živjeli,
All people that lived here
živjeli su na polju, od polja.
lived mostly from agricultures, working very difficultly in the fields.
Duhan, vinova
They
loza.
were growing tobacco, worked in vineyards.
Tako kažem i moja obitelj.
The same happened with my family.
Svako jutro kao dijete se naustavao,
I used to get up every morning very early.
pošto sam bio najstariji u obitelji.
I was the oldest child in the family.
Išao u 5 sati jutro,
I had to go with my parents at 5 in the morning
išao brati duhan.
to pick up the tobacco leaves.
Morali smo ići brati duhan jer rano je zato što kad kasnije već vruće.
We had to get up early in the morning because during the day was very hot and we wanted to avoid the sun.
Tako svaki dan.
And every day was the same.
Nije bilo drugoga i
There was no any other choice.
morali smo pomagati roditeljima
We had to help our parents
da bi se mogli u škole, da bi mogli u školu.
to be able to go to school
Svaki dan tako.
every day like this.
I ja sam svaki dan pitao u tome teškome radu, svaki dan pitao roditelja da li će neki blagdan na svetac doći.
And working so hard, I was just dreaming about the feast day coming, and I asked my parents, is there any feast day soon?
I taj dan je došao.
And the feast day came.
Srijeda,
It was Wednesday,
blagdan Sveti Ivan Krstitelj.
the feast of St. John the Baptist.
Bila je kažem to jutro srijeda i kao i svakog blagdana, tako i toga, roditelji su nam davali da moramo dulje spavati.
On the feast day, our parents allowed us to sleep a little bit longer,
Ali ne toliko dugo da ne bi išli na misu.
but not that long to be late for Mass.
A ja sam volio uvijek dulje spavati.
And I really always like to sleep long.
A vi znate kako se roditelji.
And you know the way parents are.
5-6 puta dolaze u moju sobu, ja sam spavao tamo.
They were coming 5 or 6 times, knocking on the door of my room. I was sleeping upstairs, the room to the right.
I nije bilo puno razmišljanja.
So I didn't have choice.
Brzo sam ustao,
I had to get up.
probudio drugu dvojicu
And I
braća
got my brothers as well.
i brzo spremio I zajedno s roditeljima preko polja.
In few minutes I was ready and we started walking through the fields.
U ono vrijeme mi smo svi morali ići zajedno s roditeljima u crkvu.
In that time we all had tradition to go with our parents to the church.
I nije bilo da se ide odvojeno.
So it was common thing to go with parents, not to go separately from each other.
Kad smo sjedili u crkvu, smo uvijek mogli sjediti zajedno.
When we were in the church, we had to sit together, one next to the other.
I toga jutra sam bio u crkvi u 11 sati.
So that morning at 11, I was in the church.
Bio sam tijelom.
But I can tell I was physically present.
Nisam bio siguran da li sam srcem bio dušom.
I don't remember that my heart and my soul were with me.
Sam sam čekao da što prije misa
I
završi.
was hardly waiting for the Mass to finish.
I kad sam došao kući,
And when I got home,
prvo pitanje koje roditelji postavljaju,
the first question that my mom asked
po kome je bilo evanđelje.
was, the gospel was according to? I didn't have any idea.
Ali poslije toga,
But after that,
svima su ostali ručati
we had lunch,
I prije toga ručka
and it was the end of the lunch time.
došli su neki moji prijatelji
There were a few of my friends that were standing here outside
I došli su tu, zovu me,
in front of my gate, calling me.
ajde, pođi s nama, nema nas dovoljno, ne možemo sastaviti dvije ekipe, idemo idati na...
Ivan, come with us to play soccer. We are missing one. We cannot start if you don't come.
I nije mi trebalo 2 puta reći.
And of course, this time it was not necessary to call me twice.
Odmah sam ustao, spremio se
I was ready in few minutes.
I s njima sam pošao.
And I started walking with them this way.
Sad ćemo mi poći ovim.
So we are going to walk the same way.
Usput ću vam ja još neke stvari naglašavati.
In between, I'm going to tell you a few more things.
Kao prvo, ovaj put koji ćemo mi sad hodati
So this road that we're going to take now
nije bio prije
did not exist in 1981.
Mogla je onda hodao
It was like a goat path.
I bio nakon.
Are we going to wake up Jakob now? On the right. Here on the right were some trees, especially apple trees, which we are going to mention later on. Here, you see that traffic sign, no parking and stopping. We will mention that sign later. This spot here as well, where the generator is, we are going to mention as well. This is where I met Vitska. Eh? Okay, we were walking that way, the same way that I took in that time in 1981 together with my friends.
Međutim, mi nismo došli ovdje, ja nisam došao ovdje s prijateljima.
I didn't come here to this spot in that time, but we were across the street.
Svi vidite dvije kuće?
You see where the soccer field?
To je bilo kod Jakova mame.
And it belonged to Jakov's mother.
I tu nama uvijek dala da nedjelju ovako.
And she allowed us to play on her field on Sundays.
Mi smo došli tu.
And we came there
oko 3 sata.
Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Igrali smo nogomet do 5 sati.
And we played approximately till 5.
Kad smo svi bili umorni,
When we all very tired,
oko 5 sati smo izlazili na ovu cestu.
it was 5 o'clock when we left the soccer field going down to the street.
Bila je cesta, ali kamen.
Again, a very narrow path, not the one like today.
Izlazeći na ovaj put,
Coming to this street,
susrećemo 3 djevojke.
we met 3 girls,
Ivanku, Vicku i Mirjanu.
Ivanka, Vicka, and Mirjana.
Od te 3 djevojke sam jednu dobro poznavao.
I knew just one of them very well.
Vicku.
It was Vicka.
Jer isto u školu kao i ja.
She used to go to the same school as I did.
Druge 2 djevojke nisam dobro poznao.
And the other 2 girls I didn't know very well.
Pošto se Ivanka živjela u Mostaru,
In that time, Ivanka lived in Mostar
Mirjana je živjela u Sarajevu.
and Mirjana lived in Sarajevo.
Samo su dolazile preko ljeta.
They were coming here during the summer.
Da dolazile su jer su svi roditelji bili iz Medjugorje.
They came here because their parents were from Medjugorje, so they were visiting grandparents.
I neki moji prijatelji koji su bili s menom,
So some of my friends
pitali su gdje idu, šta rade.
talked to them and asked them where they are going, what they were doing.
Oni su rekli da idu šetat,
They said they were going for a walk,
da idu tražiti roditelja ovce.
and some of them are going to bring sheep back home.
Ja ih nisam ništa pitao.
I didn't have any questions for them.
Ja nisam onda razgovarati o
In that time, I was not talking with any girls before.
Very shy. Kad smo i moji prijatelji završili razgovor,
When my friends finished this conversation,
mi smo pošli prema kućama. Ovi djevojke su otišli prema gore.
we went back this way and the girls continued walking down.
Pošto najveći dio mojih prijatelja živi u selu,
Most of my friends lived in the village in that time.
a ja sam živio malo dole kod
And
Belgrada.
I lived, as you have seen, the street
Jedan
where
moj prijatelj, ime mi isto bilo Ivan,
a friend of mine named Ivan as well
pošao je s menom,
went together with me
da se ja na brzinu presvučem
back to my house because I needed to change.
i da se opet vratim te večer kod njega da gledamo zajedno košarku.
And we decided to go to his house to watch basketball match.
U ono vrijeme 71. godine,
In that time, in 1981,
naše selo možda je bilo 5-6 obitelji koji su imali televizu
there
bolje.
were probably just 5 or 6 families in our village that had television with the colors.
Tako da sam uvijek sastala u jednoj obitelji, znate kako je gledati u
And
boje, kako je
we
crno-bijelo.
used to meet in the family where there was a good television because, you know, it's a great difference watching the match without colors.
Tako je svaki put kad je bio sport, nogomet, košarka,
Every time, instead of black and white, you know, watching on television,
pogotovo kad je sport,
especially when we talk about sport,
uvijek smo se kupili tako u jednoj kući.
we were going to a friend's house who had television.
Tako i te večer.
And the same happened on that evening, June 24th.
Gledali smo košarku,
We watched basketball match.
neću reći mi ko je igrao, znam.
I know who was playing.
I na probleme te utakmice,
And the first, during the break time,
ja sam rekao vam prijatelju, aj pođi na brzinu s menom.
I asked my friend to go back with me quickly to my house
Da uzme nešto jesti, išao sam preko polja, preko buka.
because I was hungry and we took shortcut to my house.
Došao sam kući na brzo sam jeo,
I needed just few minutes to grab something to eat.
pa sam jeo, polako smo hodali ovim putom, istim kao što smo mi došli.
While I was eating, we were walking the same way that we did this morning.
Usput smo stali u ovaj vrta, ubali smo nekoliko
We
jabuka
stopped over there to pick up some apples,
i išli smo dalje.
and we continue walking.
Idući dalje,
Walking further,
čujemo neki glas,
we heard a voice.
da nas zove.
Somebody was calling us.
Ivane, 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 dođite vidite gost.
Ivan, Ivan, come and see Blessed Mother.
Pošto je nama obojici bilo ime Ivan,
We were both named Ivan.
ja nikoga nisam vidio ispred sebe,
You know, we turned around, but I haven't seen anybody in front of me,
iza sebe.
not behind me.
Rekao sam, put je bio vrlo uzak,
And I said the road was very narrow,
zarastao žbunjem.
many bushes around.
Pošto nikoga nisam vidio,
As
išao sam dalje i
I
dalje.
haven't seen anybody, I continued walking.
Idući dalje taj glas bliže jače čujem.
Walking further, the voice was getting louder. I heard it very clearly.
Dolazim do onoga znaka.
I got to that sign, the traffic sign,
Taj glas još bliže čujem.
and the voice was really very clear. I heard it very clearly.
Okrećem se iza sebe
I turned around
i vidim Vicku
and I saw Vitska
na onom mjestu gdje sam malo prije.
standing on that place where the today generator is.
To se trese,
She was all shaking,
u strahu,
very exciting. She looked afraid,
uzbuđena,
very anxious,
bosa,
barefoot.
trče prema nama dvojici.
She was running to two of us.
I govori, dođite, Gospod, brzo.
She said again, come, come, there is Blessed Mother on the hill.
Ja sam stao i gledao.
I just stopped and looked at her.
Nisam znao o čemu govori.
I didn't know what she was talking about.
Rekao sam prijatelju,
I said to my friend,
što ona govori kakav gost?
what she's talking about? What about Blessed Mother?
Pusti nju, znao sam da je ona volila puno uvijek prije pričati, ali ja pustio, rekao sam,
Leave Vitska alone, I said. She has a big mouth.
uvijek je volila prije puno pričati.
She likes to talk a lot.
Rekao sam prijatelju, aj, kasnije drugo vrijeme već isto čeka.
And I said, okay, just forget about her. Let's go the second half, we will start.
Međutim, ona je toliko bila uporna.
But she insisted,
Pođite s menom, pođite s
come
menom.
with me, come with me.
Vidimo da se nešto čudno događa.
We have noticed something strange was happening.
Rekao sam prijatelju, aj pođimo s njom.
And then I said to my friend, okay, let's go with her.
Hodali smo s njom od onoga znaka,
We walked with her from that traffic sign,
s njom,
together with her,
gledajući kako se ponaša.
just looking the way she behaves.
Više ni nama bilo niše, nije ni nama više bilo
We
jedno.
really didn't feel very comfortable being with her.
Samo gledajući nju.
Just looking at her,
Približavajući se bliže i bliže ovome mjestu,
we were getting closer to this spot.
vidimo
We saw the other,
malo ovdje preko puta ove su meni.
you see, just across that souvenir shop.
Vidimo druge dvije djevojke,
We saw the other two girls,
Mirjana i Ivanku,
Mirjana and Ivanka.
kleče,
They were kneeling.
okrenute prema brdu
They were facing the Apparition hill like this,
i nas gledaju.
and they were looking at that direction.
Kad smo mi došli do nje s Vickom,
When we approached them,
Vicka se okreće prema brdu i sve rukom pokazuje.
Vitska pointed with her hand towards the Apparition hill,
Sam s rukom pogledajte gore.
and she said, look at over there.
Ja sam 3 puta pogledao
I looked there 3 times,
i vidio sam prelijepi Gospel lik
and I have seen the image of Blessed Mother
u svjetlosti,
in the light,
u prirodnoj veličini.
in a human size, natural size.
Moj pogled nije više trajao od 5 sekundi.
My look did not last longer than 5 seconds.
Čim sam to vidio,
As soon as I saw this,
odmah sam pobjegao kući.
I ran away.
Rekao to žbunja, ja mislim da me niko ne mogu da
But
stigne.
I was not running down the street. I used a shortcut across the field through the bushes. Nobody was able to catch up with me.
Kad sam došao kući,
When I got home,
nisam nikome ništa govorio.
I didn't say a word to anybody,
I mojim roditeljima,
not to my parents.
otvorio sam se u sobu.
I was locked in my room.
Noć koja je bila pred mnom, uistinu noć je bila toliko pitanja.
The night that was ahead of me was the night of nightmares of many questions.
Je li to moguće?
Would it be really possible?
Kako je to moguće?
How it could be possible?
A zar je to bila bar Gospod?
Was it really Blessed Mother?
Ja sam vidio, ali opet nisam bio siguran.
I have seen, but I was not sure what I have seen.
Jer 5 sekundi, znate, to je jedan blic.
You know, 5 seconds, that's just a short look.
Ali ono po čemu sam najviše prepoznao da je to ona,
But there was one thing that really impressed me and made me believing that it was Blessed Mother,
iz kruna koja su toliko
is the crown of stars that was so shining.
koja je bila najviše izražajnija.
And it was something that impressed me so much.
Ali kažem, ta noć koja je bila je noć toliko pitanja.
But I say again, this night was the night of many, many questions.
nikada u svom životu do svoje 16. godine nisam mogao sanjati.
Because I have to say, until that age, I have never heard about the possibility. I have never dreamt about it. I have never read about it.
Nikad ni mi roditelji nisu govorili.
My parents were never telling me anything about the apparitions.
Nikad nisam imao prema Gospi.
I have never had any special devotion to Blessed Mother.
Ja sam praktičan vjernik.
I was just a traditional believer like all others.
Rastao u vjeri.
I was brought up in the faith.
Ni bolji ni lošiji od drugih.
I was not any better, not any worse than anybody
Pa i
else.
svi druga djeca u tim godinama.
I was just an ordinary child or teenager.
Ali kažem, ta noć koja je bila pred mnom, bila je noć straha, noć iščekivanja.
But the night that was coming was the night of many expectations.
Što će se dogoditi?
What was going to happen?
Što ako se Gospa, čega sam najviše bojao, jest što ako večeras Gospa dođe u moju sobu, kuda ću ja pobići, kamo ću
I
pobići?
was very afraid and I was thinking, how would I react if Our Lady comes tonight to my house? Which way I'm going to use to escape?
My room, ne sam.
To escape my room.
Znate, u ono vrijeme bio sam dijete 16 godina, nisam nikakvom mraku odao, bez
You
roditelja.
see, I was 16 years old and I was always afraid to go outside when it was dark.
Tako da sam se samo sad čekao te noći da što jutro
And
dođe.
you see, I was hardly waiting for the morning, for the sunrise.
Došlo jutro,
And the morning came.
roditelji sve čuli u selu da sam ja bio tu.
Before I got up, my parents heard in the village that I was among those kids that have seen Blessed Mother.
I odmah su čekali za moju sobu.
So they were waiting in front of the door.
Znate kako su roditelji.
You know the way parents are.
U ono vrijeme komunizma,
And especially in that time, the time of the communist regime.
odmah su kucali na vrata,
They were
otvori
knocking
vrata,
on the
trebamo
door
nešto
saying,
pitati.
"Open the door, we need to talk to you."
Ja sam otvorio vrata,
And I opened the door.
roditelji su bili uskrašeni,
They were so afraid.
pazite što govorite,
They were telling me, "Be careful what you talk
nemojte
about.
se igrati s tim,
Do not play with the name of God.
otićete odmah u zatvor.
You will be arrested. You will go to prison if you keep talking."
Mi smo našim roditeljima rekli ono što smo vidjeli.
But we said to our parents what we have seen.
Rekli smo, vidjeli smo, ali opet nisam siguran.
I said, "I have seen, but I'm not sure."
Toga drugoga dana,
Then the second day,
mnogi ljudi iz sela su išli sveći
many
kažu.
people from the village went to our parish down and talked to the priests to tell them about what we have seen.
U ono vrijeme tadašnji župni fra Jozovko nije bio među.
On that day, Father Jozozovko, the pastor of Medjugorje Parish, was not in his parish.
Bio je u Zagrebu dušni vijek.
He had spiritual retreat in Zagreb.
Bio je samo pomoćnik.
There was another priest,
Ima bio fra Zrinko,
chaplain, Father Zrinko.
on je umro.
He died.
Kad smo ljudi došli da mu kažu,
When the people came to him to tell him what the kids have seen,
on je njima nasmijao se, rekao, puste vi to se djeca igraju.
he just smiled and said, "Let the kids play."
I toga drugoga dana jako puno ljudi se počelo dolaziti.
On the second day, the word was spread and many people started coming.
Dolaze policija, vlast.
But not only the villagers, even the police came here.
Cijeli taj drugi dan smo probili s ljudima, ljudi su nas zaštitili od policije i od vlasti.
On this second day, we were among the people and they protected us from police.
I negdje oko 2 sata,
It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
ljudi koji su bili s nama cijeli dan,
The people that were with us the whole morning, the whole day,
govorili su nama, ajde da mi s vama pođemo to mjesto gdje je sinoć Gospod ide.
they convinced us to go to that place. They said, "Let's go to the place where you have seen her
Sinoć.
last night.
Uzaj Gospod nešto ostavio,
Maybe she has left something for you.
neki znak,
Maybe she has left a sign there,
da se u vrijeme da ne bila tu.
just to make sure that she was present there."
Spontano,
It was very spontaneous.
oko 2 sata,
2 o'clock,
pošli smo s ljudima.
we started going with her.
Nismo išli zajedno,
We didn't go together.
išli smo po grupama,
We walked in the smaller groups
da nas policija ne primijetila.
because we shouldn't be noticed by the police.
Ja sam išao negdje s ovoga mjesta.
I started probably from this spot,
Išao sam s ljudima.
and we went straight to the hill.
Nikome mi nije mogao pratiti kad sam išao.
And I was walking very fast, no one was able to follow me.
U istom momentu svi mi dolazimo zajedno.
In the same moment, all of us from different directions come to the same spot there at the same time.
Negdje 20 metara prije kipa.
And it was like 60 feet far from the statue.
Gospod nas na tom istom mjestu čeka.
Our Lady was waiting for us,
Držeći malog Isusa u naručju.
holding baby Jesus in her arms.
Nasmijana,
Smiling,
lebde na oblaku.
she was floating on a cloud,
I rukom nasmijana maše za djecu.
and with her hands showed us to approach her.
Ja taj dan nikad neću zaboraviti kad sam živ.
I will never forget this day so long I live,
Toliko blizu nje.
to be so close to her.
Moje se noge više posjeda.
I just, didn't have any feeling that I have legs.
Nisam više mogao ni naprijed
I
nazad.
was not able to move, to make step forward or backward.
Ali u jednom trenutku,
But in one moment,
ne mojom snagu,
it was not my strength.
preko tog kamenja,
Across, over all these rocks,
žbunja, prišli smo bliže njoj.
bushes, we were approaching her.
Kad smo prišli bliže njoj,
When we got close to Our Lady,
ona se još bliže manama primiče,
but it was not close enough, then she approached us.
stavlja ruke naše glave,
She placed her hand on our heads,
počinje izgovarati prve riječi.
and she started saying the first words.
Draga djeco,
Dear children,
ja sam s vama,
I am with you.
ja sam vaša majka,
I am your mother.
ne bojte se ničega.
Do not be afraid of anything.
Ja ću vas zaštititi,
I will protect you.
ja ću vam pomoći, ja ću vas voditi.
I will help you. I will lead you.
Ali teško je se bilo smiriti.
But it was very hard to calm down.
Mi stojimo pred njom,
We
klečimo pred njom.
were kneeling in front of her.
Naši stidljivi pogledi prema njeznom licu idu dole pa gore.
Our look, to Our Lady was going up and down. We were very shy.
A tresemo se od straha.
We were very anxious,
Uzbuđenje je bio
very exciting.
Vjerujte mi da bi tada srce nije preknulo, neće nikada ostati u životu.
And I think today, when I think about it, if in that moment I haven't had any heart attack, I will never had one.
I kažem, teško je se bilo da smiri.
It was really very difficult to calm down.
Teško je bilo doći sebi.
It was very hard to get back to normal.
To je s njom,
In this meeting with Blessed Mother,
ona nas je hrabrila.
she encouraged us.
I tada, pošto je Vicka bila od nas najviše opuštena nego se mi,
And Vitska was the one who was very relaxed, let's say, comparing with all of us.
pita je tko je ona.
Vitska was brave enough to ask her who she was.
A znate kako je Spilsko uvijek, nema nje.
You know, Vitska is the one who talks a lot, he says.
Ona odgovara, ja sam Blaždjevica Marija,
And Our Lady replied to Vitska, I am Blessed Virgin Mary,
kraljica mira.
Queen of Peace.
Dolazim, draga djeco,
I come, dear
jer
children,
me šalje moj sin
because my son sent me
da vam pomoći.
to help you.
Mir,
Peace,
mir,
peace,
mir.
peace.
Širi Gospa ruke.
And then Our Lady extended her hand.
Mir neka bude.
May the peace reign.
Mir neka zvala draga se sije.
May the peace reign all over the world.
Mir mora, draga djeco, zalati između čovjeka i Boga, između ljudi.
Dear children, peace must be between man and God and between the people themselves.
Draga djeco, svijet nalazi na velikoj opasnosti.
Dear children, the world is in a very difficult situation, a dangerous situation.
Pritom da sam se buniš.
And it could get to the point to destroy itself.
To su bile uistinu prve riječi koje je Gospod preko nas rekao.
These are the first words that Our Lady spread through us.
Ali kad Gospod izgovorila baš te riječi mir, toliko je okrenuta svijetu, ovako da stoji i gleda.
But when Our Lady was saying these words of peace, she really extended her hand and she looked to the whole world.
Taj drugi dan smo mi prepoznali nju majku.
On this second day, we recognized Mother in Blessed Mother.
i ostali još do danas nas troje.
And until today, there are still 3 of us who have daily apparitions.
Zašto? 25. je taj bio dan kad smo mi prvi put počeli s njim razgovarati.
So on this second day, actually the date was the 25th, but it was the first time for us that we approach her and talk to her.
Zato se svake godine godišnjica slavi 25. na 26.
This is reason why we celebrate Medjugorje anniversary on the 25th of June.
Zato što smo mi prvi počeli.
Because it was our first contact with Our Lady on that day.
Prvi put stopili smo u komunikaciju.
We started talking to her on the 25th for the first time.
Još bih htio neke stvari pojasniti.
I would like just to clear some more things.
Prvi dan ukazanja,
The first day of the apparition
s menom je bio i ovaj prijatelj Ivan
was my friend Ivan
i Marina sestra.
and Maria's sister Milka.
Oni su isto bili vidjeli Gospu.
They have seen Our Lady on this first day too.
Drugi dan,
But on the second day,
ovom prijatelju Ivanu, prijatelj Ivan,
my friend Ivan,
on je imao 5 sestara,
who had 5 sisters,
on je bio sam u obitelji.
he was the only son in the family.
I sestra ga pričala u sobu, nismo dali leđe.
So my friend Ivan was locked in the room by his sisters. They didn't allow him to go up with us.
Jer bojao se zbog policije.
They were very afraid what would happen if their only brother gets arrested by the police.
A Marina sestra bilo je strah i ona ništa nije.
And Maria's sister was also afraid and she didn't go.
Tako drugi dan,
So on this second day,
kad smo mi došli na Medjugorje, Jako i Marija,
when we got to the hill, there were Jakob and Maria as well, who were not there the first day.
oni su vidjeli drugi dan.
On the second day, they have seen her as well.
I to je bilo spontano.
And it was very spontaneous.
Bili smo nas 4 pred Gospu.
There were 4 of us in front of Our Lady,
I jednostavno njih dvoje došlo, pridružilo se.
and the other 2, Maria and Jakob, as they have seen her as well, out of the whole crowd, 2 of them have seen, they also approached and started, and they knelt next to us. Maria and Vitska.
I sami znate da preko Marije Gospa daje poruku
And
25.
you know that Our Lady gives the monthly message through Maria on the 25th of each month.
Drugi troje,
And the
Ivanka,
other 3 visionaries,
Jako i Mirjana,
Ivanka, Mirjana, and Jakob,
jedan put godišnji imaju
have
ukazanje.
annual operations.
Mi još nas po 9, troje ima po 9 tajni.
3 of us who have daily apparitions, we still have 9 secrets.
Mi ne znamo kada ćemo dobiti 10
We
tajni.
don't know when we are going to get the 10th secret.
Mi ne znamo dok će ukazan tajni.
We don't know for how long the apparitions will last.
I mi ne možemo ništa naslutiti o tome.
And
Ne vidimo
we-
ništa na ukazanju da se nešto primiče.
We really cannot judge, we cannot predict when the apparition will finish.
Ako imate neko pitanje koje vi želite meni
If you
postaviti.
have any questions, you're welcome to ask.
Did not come the second day, he was locked in the room. Did he ever see the Blessed Mother again? Or he was never included again?
No, it was only on the first day and never again. He's the taxi driver in the village.
He is.
On the second day.
Yes.
On the second day, when the crowd went up, how large a crowd was that?
Kolika je bila gužva? Koliko otprilike?
Bila ljudi spontano su išli. Ja moram mislim tu su žene, muški, sve to, cijelo selo je išlo.
Ja.
Nije niko ostao u kućama bilo.
Znači,
Ma recimo, ajde,
stotinja,
ne više,
više.
100-200 ljudi.
Probably 200 people. So everybody from the village, everybody who was around when we were talking about it, decided to go, but not together. Some of them started further there, some of them by the Blue Cross, even did here, somebody else further over there.
Tako je plavi križ uopće nije postojao.
Yeah, I'm just saying direction where from. In that time, Blue Cross did not exist, even said.
Iz pravca plavog.
Ne znam ja.
You said the Blessed Mother was holding the baby Jesus, is that right?
I rekao se da je Gospa držala
But then
bebu Isusa.
later she was extending both
A
hands.
onda je kasnije otvorila ruke. Gdje je bio Isus tada?
Kad je Gospa otvorila ruke, to znači ovo je držala Isusa u naručju i ovako govorila mir, mir, mir.
So the baby was in her arms,
Cradle.
like a cradle.
I ovo,
In one hand,
drži Isusa u
she
naručju,
holds the baby,
Ova ruka je otvorena.
and the right hand was extended.
I tako govori mir.
And she talks about peace, holding Jesus in her arms.
Ali, kaže, u otvorenim rukama
Open hands,
sa Isusom. To znači Isus je mir. Ona ga nosi
which
kao mir svijet.
actually represent that Jesus is the peace.
Were you able to see baby Jesus' face?
Jesi vidio Isusovo lice?
Ne, jer uvijek je, kad ga drži, uvijek je samo jedna se strana.
No, I was not able because when she holds the baby, only one side is open. It's more prekriven, yeah.
Djeca, ja.
It's more covered.
A i mi smo u pečenju položili.
And we were kneeling, so Our Lady is higher up, so we were not able to see.
On the second day, who did you go with? Your parents or friends or who?
Sa ljudima nije uopće bilo sada pitanje ko je s nama.
So it was not the question who will be with us. There were so many villagers.
Mi smo svi bili,
A i roditelji ste bili, jel?
sve.
Yes, my parents were among the crowd. They were not directly with me.
On the second day, do you think there were some secret police looking
Oh, yeah.
also?
Sve je bilo uključeno sada.
Yeah, everybody was involved.
A ja vam kažem da za nekoliko godina, 3 godine, možda više, jer samo su naše non stop su bili i naše kuće samo pod police control.
Almost 3 years, secret police worked very, very hard. They were monitoring our houses, village, street, different places.
Kuda mi odlazimo, kuda naši roditelji se kreću,
They had all information. Where do we go? What our parents do?
ko dolazi u posjetu,
Who comes to visit?
sve što to je bilo s njima.
Everything was recorded.
Na ispitivanjima.
The worst thing for us was that we were children, but our parents were taken by police to the police station to give reports. You know, they stayed there. And it was like investigation, you know, to see what they're going to
Čak je
say.
bilo tako podmićivanja od roditelja, govorili su im, daćemo vam sve, samo recite svoj djeci da ne govore to više.
They were even saying to our parents, we're going to give you everything, but you convince your children to stop talking about these things.
The Blessed Mother, why she appeared to you? What was her response?
Pitao si Gospu, zašto se baš tebi ukazao?
Ja sam pitao se jedan put i poslije toga nikad više nisam pitao.
I asked her only once, never again.
Pitao sam je, majko, zašto baš ja?
I asked her, Mother, why me?
I ona kaže,
And she said,
draga djeco, znaš da ja uvijek ne tražim najbolje.
Dear child, you know, I'm not looking for the best ones.
Ja sam više rekao da nikad neću pitati.
And then I decided no more the same question. Yes, please.
On the second day where Maria and Yaakov were allowed to see Our Lady, there must have been other children that were also on the hill. And, I mean, that, you know, they just happened by
Znači, taj drugi dan
circumstance,
kad
Our
su
Lady
Marija i
allowed
Jako vidjeli Gospu,
them
bilo je
at
još
that moment to
djece.
see her, and then they became the
Bilo je,
Mnogi su ljudi koji su bili naproti toga dana osjetili toliko njezinu blizinu prisutnost.
ali je li ko očima vidi?
Ljudi su vidjeli nek svjetlost, uz tu svjetlosti vidjeli, ali oni su nisu dvoje samo prišli.
There were few other people. I mean, everybody, he said, felt something, the closeness of Our Lady. Some of them have seen the light or something similar coming down to earth, but only 2 were brave to approach the same spot where we were kneeling.
How hard was it to spot the Blessed Mother up there on the hill?
Kako se bilo teško popeti? How high you mean? How high?
How hard was it to spot?
Kako je bilo teško se popeti?
Ja sam lebedio, ja uvijek nisam osjećao ništa.
I don't remember walking up. I think I was floating. It was like I was brought up.
Kad bi vi pitali ove ljude koji su bili s menom,
If you would ask now anybody who was around me to describe
koji
it,
su me pratili,
that the people that followed
uopće
me,
nismo mogli pratiti.
they were not able to follow me.
Ja sam, kao da sam lebdio gore.
It was like I was floating or I was taken by
Još je bilo
somebody,
kišno,
you know.
mokro vrijeme.
And even in that time it was even slippery.
Bilo je malo kiše toga dana.
There was a little bit of rain on that
Ali
day.
kažem, ja sam
But I was so exciting.
Sam trčao, možda nešto uspio, pa ću ja prvi doći da ja vidim prvi to.
I wanted to be the first one who will find something that Our Lady left.
Da sam uvijek trčao, ali...
Yeah, it was so exciting running up.
Ali nisam našao, nisam
But
našao
I
drugo.
haven't found any sign, but I found something better, worthier.
Nisam očekivao.
Something that I didn't expect it. I found...
Gospod ovo čeka.
So,
Gospod čeka to.
Our Lady was waiting, he said. Yes, Father.
so Viska wasn't so strange after all.
Da je Viska se postala.
Nije išlo toga dana izgleda. Nije tako brzo bila toga dana.
Yeah, on that day she was not that fast.
Ali Viska je bila jedan poseban karakter.
She has a very special personality.
Iz škole, poznavajući je.
You know, I knew her from the school.
Uvijek je bila puna energije.
She was always full of energy,
Uvijek
outgoing.
Uvijek je bila jedan šerif u razredu.
She was the boss in her class.
Toliko je se puta potukla.
Many times she was fighting with the children in the classroom.
Punching.
Yeah.
Nije se